Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, I'm so happy to have you. So my patrons subscribers, welcome back to the channel. So for today's video in particular, we're going to be talking about President Biden's visitation with the Vatican with Pope Francis. But we're also going to be talking about the phone call that he just had 3 hours ago when this video is being recorded. At least that's what it says on the internet. So the reason why we're doing this is because in a video that I recently did by what path will Biden do, what path will Biden and Harris take 2024 presidential election, tarot reading psychic. So this is the video. I'll put the link to that video in the description below. But also at the same time, I also made a very short video with a little bit of a clip to kind of see and tell you what I said. There's a lot more intel and more content in that video, so I highly recommend you go and watch it if you have not done so already, or refresh your memory. But I talked about Pope Francis and how that was going to be essential, and how the spiritual message and the spiritual roles were going to be tied to Vice President Harris and President Biden. And I think it's really significant because as of when I recorded that video, it was December 16th, but I uploaded the video on December 17th. This video is being recorded on December 21st, Saturday, at 1:49 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So that is when I am recording this particular video. We're now talking about it, but you can see here when you look up, is Biden meeting the Pope. And you can see here that Biden is meeting the Pope 15 hours ago, 1 day ago. Just for verification here, we'll hit 1 day ago. And what did it say here when you go to, when it says December 19th, 2024. And we have Joe Biden meeting Pope Francis. And this is the title. So I think it's really interesting and very significant because I talked about this in the reading. So it further clarifies and it tells us what it is and why it's so important for what we do here on this channel. Because like I said here, nothing on my channel is ever meant to scare you. There's a message and there's a reasoning behind it, and that the way I read is I read just intuitively, and I just read the energies and I just interpret it and I just tell you the story. And every video, no matter what the video is a continuation of the story. So that is what we're going to explore in this video, is more about the information and why Biden meeting Pope Francis is so significant. But also we are also going to be referring to and talking about the phone call that they had prior to the announcement that they are planning to meet at the Vatican. So there's something very significant going on here. So we're going to do that. This video can be superseding the other two videos. I made a video on Biden's last 4 weeks as president. That video is going to be probably redone. I feel like the information there was not exactly accurate, but I'm going to review it and see how I feel. And if I feel confident about it, I will upload it. If I don't, I will not reveal it, and I will just do a redo. For the other video that we talked about the what if scenario, what if Vice President Harris and President Biden don't do anything, and that explores the what if we allow the Trump presidency to continue forward. So that is very important. As of right now, when I'm recording this is December 21st, 1:55 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So we're going to jump right into this. This is a very long intro, but I wanted to make sure I take all the important parts. If you have not yet engaged with the channel, don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the bell icon, and let me know in the comment section below what you think and what your thoughts are revolving around Pope Francis and President Joe Biden, but also Vice President Harris. So in some videos, a lot of you guys have been saying, well, you kept saying Harris goes in, but doesn't. The problem is it's very hard to really know because it's free choice of will, and it keeps changing and fluctuating the cards. I'm not going to lie to you and tell you what you want to hear. I'm just going to tell you what I see in the cards. I'm not here to benefit myself. I'm here to be truthful and as openly honest with you guys as much as possible. So that is what I intend to do here. I'm not trying to dissuade you or try to make you believe something that isn't there. So if the energy isn't there, I'm going to tell you the energy isn't there. Right? And that moment in time doesn't mean she won't be president or she won't become president at some point. But I'm just saying the energy might not be there at the very moment in which I read, but that could change the next day because that's how tarot card works. But anyway, we're going to start. We're going to begin. I'm not wasting any more time. Engage with the channel. Don't forget to follow my Blue Sky account and my Facebook group so I can notify you when I post next. And you can also interact with me there and be able to communicate and be able to interact with me. So anyway, you guys hold the shenanigan. Let's just begin. I'm not wasting any more time. Let's go. Okay, so a lot of you guys will probably ask me why I'm on the floor. Quick introduction. I'm on the floor because I work 2 jobs. Sometimes I only have time to do the videos at night. Yes, I have a studio. I do tarot cards at night sometimes, and the only place that I have privacy without anybody interrupting me and interrupting my channeling process is the bathroom. Is it my ideal location? No, but I love you guys and I want to make sure you guys, I'm able to do the information for you and be able to get the message out to you. So it doesn't matter where it is, as long as the information is there for you. That's all that matters. This video is just for entertainment purposes only and for educational purposes only as well. Alright, so let's begin. That was a lot of information, holy cow. Okay, so Spirit Angel, tell me about President Biden meeting with Pope Francis. You mentioned this before to me, and I want to thank you. I want to give you a lot of credit for giving that to me clairvoyantly. I want to explore this further. So can you tell me and guide me what is going on between Pope Francis and President Biden regarding around the phone call? There might not be any energy there, but it might just be in the vegetation itself. We're going to explore both aspects in today's reading. Okay, so that was quick. Don't like that land on my foot though, but I'll just take it. Alright, so Spirit Angels, tell me what else. What is also important and revolving around the phone call between Pope Francis and President Biden? Now, I just say that Pope Francis is going to have to step down or resign, and there will be a new Pope that will go in. So I definitely do expect Pope Francis to resign at some point. There will be a young male, and there will be a battle between it. One of them is going to be almost like a very Christian nationalist style Pope. Very imperialistic, if you ask. Okay. But then there is not one. So I'll put the link in the description below to that video that I did a couple years ago, revolving around a new Pope that's coming in to replace Pope Francis. And I never read on anything like that because I'm not really religious, but you know, that's always the best type to read because you're impartial. Okay. The bottom of the card is the White House. Now, I feel like, if I'm correct, the frame rate on this video is terrible. So let me see if I can fix that. Okay, so I obviously can't fix it while I'm recording, but I'm hoping the audio and the picture is good. But if the audio is good, that's all that matters. Okay, so let's take a look. Let's see what is going on in the phone call with President Biden and Pope Francis. Let's see if there's anything there revolving around the phone call. Now, there is going to be some clearance information that we're not supposed to be revealing because it is on the phone call, okay? So I have to be careful with the things they tell you. So again, this video is just for entertainment purposes only and for advice purposes only as well. And this layout is random. Again, I don't follow the status quo. I just read intuitively and energetically. That's all I do. Okay, so let's tell the story. So we have the King of Cups reversed, which is the President Biden card, which means she's out of power. Which is true because when a president leaves their own country, the vice president assumes the role of acting president, which means that when Biden leaves, Vice President Harris will assume the role of the acting president, and she will be acting president during the time that Biden is abroad in the Vatican. During this time at the cross, we have the Six of Pentacles, which is challenging. There is monetary versus fairness, justice versus money, greed versus justice. Right? That is why this card is coming in a challenge to when Biden is leaving around this point in time. Now, it's being followed and aided by this card here, which is the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 of Pentacles. And the 8 of Pentacles here is going to be very significant because it means that it's working towards a building. There's something here that is building, a momentous. Something is building towards, energetically, something is building. Because when you look at this 8 of Pentacles here, The Eight of Pentacles is very significant because it means that you're building and working towards something in particular. Okay. So you're working towards something in particular with this Eight of Pentacles. And this Eight of Pentacles, it's referring to the fact that even though you're working towards something, you're almost completed, you're almost done. Because look at how many pentacles he has left. He still has one more pentacle right here on the floor. Excuse me. One more pentacle on the floor. But he's working on the last bit. We're telling me that the Pope Francis is the next step to the end of the story, right? The end of the chapter, which means that it looks to me that our story revolving around Harris and her inauguration, all those things, are starting to look like as if we're getting towards the end of the episode, the end of the chapter in which we're talking about revolving around Harris, which means that sometime expect, maybe in the next couple of weeks or maybe soon that I will stop talking about it, because once I said the end of the story, that will be the end of the story for the series. But the next card is after the Eight of Pentacles, is followed by loss. Right? It's talking about here that there is the Eight of Pentacles here, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Eight of Pentacles, right? And it's being followed by the loss card, which is the Five of Cups. 3 losses, 2 upright. There is still a cup, 2 cups available. Yeah, you're looking at your losses, right? You lost the Senate, you lost the House, you lost the presidency. But if you look behind you, there are 2 cups remaining, right? You can win back the House, you can win back the presidency. That is what I've been saying. I'm going to say this in the next video, because I think the next video we're going to talk about how the Democrats are going to regain power in the House of Representatives prior to the 2026 midterms. And I very much believe that that is a very strong possibility, because I kept telling you in my other videos a long time ago, around 2022, that I kept seeing a scenario where the House goes Republican, but then it switches to the Democrats prior to an election, or prior to the midterms. Which obviously I was wrong about 2022, but Tower is never wrong because it can never tell you the wrong information. It's just the interpreter who might be wrong. So in that aspect, I was wrong about the year. Doesn't mean I was wrong about the information I was getting. So that is why the Five of Cups here is upright. And you have the three of Cups, which means that they're going to gain back the presidency in the House, which means that they're just going to lose the Senate. Now under here we have the Knight of Swords, and the Knight of Swords reverses Biden running towards something. Biden is running towards something, but he's not. He's slowing down. When you slow down, that's a good thing, because it means you're able to act in a very methodical and very careful way of doing things. Biden is no different, right? Biden's a very careful guy. He thinks things through. He's not like Trump, where he makes decisions on a whim, regardless of who it hurts. We do have here is followed by slowness for Harris, which is the Queen of Swords here. She comes in pretty often. But the Queen of Swords here, which is the Harris card, which is above. Which, remember when I always tell you all the time, whenever the chair is always upright, or somebody's sitting in the chair is upright, it means that they are going to be empowered, they get a promotion, they're going to remain in power, whatever it is. There is something here that says that, yeah. Even though my other readings have indicated that, that hasn't always been the case, especially with my next 4 weeks for President Biden, or even what's going to happen. What if what if Biden and Harris don't do anything at all and just let Trump take the presidency? In the end, though, the story is still the same. It keeps coming up as Harris, and a lot of you guys are saying, some of you guys are saying, oh, just give up, Trump won. The thing is, I know Trump won. He won in 2024, because that's what his destiny was. He was going to be the president in 2024. It doesn't mean he's going to be the president in 2025. And the cards have always indicated that whoever was winning on election night was the one who was never going to become president. I said this before. I honestly thought it was going to be Vice President Harris was going to win on election night, and they were going to play out that way. And I still would have done the same thing. Because, again, like I said, I am not going to put my opinions into how I read. So, underneath the Queen of Swords here, we have the King of Pentacles, which is the Trump card. The Trump card. Again, it's ironic how the cards are coming in smoothly with the story, right? And some of you guys were like, oh, what if, when you read on the floor, the cards just jumble and go everywhere. The thing is, the cards, and the way I read, is energetically. Maybe for you, cards jumping out may not be good for you because it might mean that it messes up your reading capabilities. But for me, it's a whim of a hat. I'm able to read in any format. I'm able to read in playing cards. I'm able to read in Uno. I'm able to read in Cards Against Humanity. I'm able to read in any format because it does not affect me the way that it might affect you. So the King of Pentacles here underneath the Queen of Swords are telling me that there is slowness for getting Harris in, while it's also slowness to getting Trump out. So there is some sort of delay of some sort. I do agree with that. I do think that there is like a delay. The problem is that I'm having is why is it all coming in through the phone call with Pope Francis? We're talking about Pope Francis here, but yet this is all about the election. Right? And I talked about this in my video, which I will put in the link below that I talked about earlier in today's video, how I talked about how it was very important for President Biden to seek spiritual guidance to be able to understand what it is that he needs to do. Now, there was some important information I revealed in there on why he needs to do what he does, because I don't quite remember, because I kind of cleared my brain out before I started doing this video. I asked my guys to clear out anything that I'd done before so I can read as accurately and clearly as possible. So I don't remember anything, at least temporarily. We do have here, we have the Knight of Wands reversed. The Knight of Wands reversed means like the Republican running towards something, the conservative running towards something. It's reversed. What's telling me the Republicans are not running in some way, because it's funny because the Democrats are here reversed, the Republicans here are also reversed. Well, it tells me then there's Harris up top and Trump reversed on the bottom. Right? And we have lost on the side here. And that's just let's keep going. Because we have the foreign interference. I said it wasn't really no foreign interference in the election, at least to the degree that you were thinking. It was more so domestically, but it was trained domestic, which basically means that a lot of the things that's happened in the United States was already premeditated, already pre-done, and pre-trained, so that if anyone or the government were to say, "Oh well, this is you know." This was not foreign interference. Well, theoretically, it might not be foreign interference directly, doesn't mean it wasn't indirectly. And indirectly, it's referring to the fact that there was interference and the fact that they were training and given a mechanism and the workaround and the guidance on how to do it and how to do it successfully. That's still, again, foreign interference in any format. Doesn't matter how you do it, it's still the same story. That's why that is very significant. That is why that is very important. So, that is why the foreign interference card is reversed, and then followed by trouble moving into smoother, calmer waters. So somebody is going to be leaving the presidency, and this is revolving around the inauguration day. So this is somebody leaving the presidency, and this has to do with the inauguration day. It could be a little later. We don't know exactly what that card means, and that is the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 of Cups, which is interesting because we have here the Eight of Wands, not the Eight of Wands, we have the Eight of Pentacles, which is working towards something almost completed. And by this point in the story, we reach the Eight of Cups, which is, again, alluring to this point in here, this time period, and when Biden leaves, something is almost finished, something is almost completed by the time Biden goes to the Vatican, whatever that is. I said in my videos recently that I just felt like the investigation had just recently started, but they're moving rather quickly based on what it says in the cards here. And this is all, again, coming in through the phone call with the Pope. And this is the White House here, so the White House is coming in here. And it's referring to a tower moment that has not yet dropped. But when it does drop, there will be a resistance that will take place. And with that resistance, this guy will try to hold on to everything he can, including the presidency. However, darkness will consume himself. And because of the darkness that he consumes, a death may occur. It could be, it doesn't mean directly, it could be indirectly. But because of this, he's going to try to wield power one last time. And he's going to try to do something. I think, he might summon something. Because it's one last time. There was something he did before that he's going to try to do again. But I'm hearing like almost like marital law or like something with the military or some sort of private militia. Whatever he's doing, he's going to do it again. So maybe like a January 6th, but maybe later on. Whatever it is, there's a summoning of something, but it's going to be the last the last-ditch effort to do it. We have here something raining down, so there is obviously an attack of some sort, but it's not against the women. Well, it's not against the women in power because this is the Queen of Pentacles, this is the Republican. This is the Republic not in power, but the Emperor. Empress is also not in power. This is Russia. And it goes towards the future. There's something going on in the future revolving around this election. Right? There's a judgment that plays on election night or election day, or whatever it is. And we have the Knight of Pentacles. Something moves fast paced within the government. But in this governmental style, the devil falls and a victory is heard. Yeah, a victory is heard once a betrayal has occurred. Oh, you see that? That's a rhyme. I must have channeled that. But we have the Three of Pentacles. This is the ballot. This is the ballots being thrown out. Something is found, but they can't transfer power because it needs to be recertified, it needs to be relooked at, so there's going to be a delay of some sort. And then we have the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 of Cups reverse. And this is telling me here that they're no longer ignorant to the truth. They're starting to see the truth for what it really is. And when it does happen, there will be a sense of temperance among people who are like, oh, okay, so they kind of like accepted it. I feel that people accepted the facts at face value, like, oh, I'm not surprised. And this is the 5 of Wands. There are obviously going to be resistance, but it won't be to the severity that one would think. And this is the Moon card, and the Moon card is telling me a revelation of some sort, and it has to revolve around a new leader, a new growth, a new future, right? A new hope. And here's the Page of Swords here, coming out on top. Right now, it's not out on top yet, but when it does, the Lovers card will be very important. Because remember I told you how Biden once was considered a transitional president. That was between two separate individual presidents. But that is because Biden is in his name a transitional president, which means that he deals solely, his legacy is the transition. How it gets transitioned from one president to the next. That is Biden's legacy. That is going to be Biden's role. That is the Lovers card here. This has been the card that represented the Biden-Harris administration. This is the legacy. This is the transition from Biden to Harris. And we have here people, particularly women, will celebrate that they broke the glass ceiling. And here it is. The Page of Cups, J.D. Vance, with a truthful. And here's the Emperor. So there's J.D. Vance and Trump. There's something going on with J.D. Vance and Trump. Biden come through with the truth. And here we have the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 of Pentacles reversed, which means that they're cooked. Because you see the guy is still looking at the evidence. This is the card that I got that the investigation was just starting. It's reversed, which means the investigation has ended. And they have enough information. And they're going to... I don't even think they're going to put him on trial. I think they're just... Yeah, I don't even think there is a trial. Because it feels like, in a way, like... He committed so much crime that they're like, you're not getting a trial because you're corrupted. And you've done so much to the country. We're just going to lock you up. Something like that. We have here the 2 of Pentacles here, and there is an unknown choice that's going to have to be made about the Hanged Man. You know, possibly, maybe Trump doesn't get jail time, and I know this is probably going to be a little bit bizarre, and I never actually mentioned this ever on my channel, and I don't wish harm in anybody, but it seems to me that, possibly it feels like I'm getting energies now that is indicating like hanging of some sort, or like what to call it, execution or the death penalty of some type. Because potentially that is how the United States approach traitors or people who are against the country or have betrayed the country in some way. So there is like almost like there's not exactly a witch trial, but there's a hanging of some sort. It doesn't mean it has to be a direct hanging, it doesn't have to be physically, but there is a hanging of some sort, and that plays a very big role and a very big matter on what happened to Trump. So maybe Trump doesn't go into jail, but maybe he gets punished via something else. Something a little bit more severe because, well, the punishment is the crime, right? And, you know, a lot of you guys have been with me for a while, knowing that I always said that Trump would never be in jail. I never saw him in jail. I still don't see him in jail. I don't think he'll ever go to jail. So I won't even ever read on that again because the energy was very consistent and across many videos in which I did. He never goes to jail. However, Trump will be impeached 4 times total. 3 times he will be acquitted. The 4th time he will be impeached and convicted. Um, the sometime after he dies, because he does something that is so severe that it has to set a precedent for all other future presidents. That if they did this, they're going to be acquitted. Excuse me, they're going to be convicted on the charges. So I do think that Trump is going to be convicted in the Senate, and an impeachment trial will be the first impeachment only for any president to be impeached, even when dead. So that might be the new precedent going forward, that, you know, a dead person can be convicted of a crime even if they're long gone. So it's more so not to punish the person, but rather set a precedent so no other future president can commit the same crime and say, like, listen, this person may have not been held accountable due to the severe circumstances, but we won't tolerate it from any future president. We'll apologize to the country that, you know, we allowed it, but we're not going to accept it to happen again. But kind of like the energy that I'm getting, and that's the energy that I got back in February of 2021. I don't see that being any different now. You know, I could read on maybe Trump being impeached. It would make sense because Trump got impeached twice in his first term. If he does somehow go in, he will be getting impeached 2 more times. So, depends on how the story unfolds and how it goes. We will find out soon, you know. Alright, so now that was the phone call with Pope Francis and President Biden. Now let's take a look at the meeting. What is going on in the meeting with Pope Francis and President Biden? Okay, that was pretty quick. What is going on in the meeting with President Biden and the Vatican? What is going on with President Biden and the Vatican? I love how they place the cards for me. I have less work to do. I love my guys. Thank you. You see what I mean? Really right in the right position where it needs to be. It's ironic. Okay, so Spirit Angel tell me, give me some more information regarding President Biden going to the Vatican and meeting Pope Francis. Okay, that was a lot of information. But I guess that's going to be the challenge. There's this guy here. So there's a lot of information on the left side. There's no information on the right side, which is pretty strange if you ask me. Spirit Angel, tell me about the meeting between President Biden and Pope Francis and why it's so important to his spiritual work. Again, Trump comes in on the side. I almost feel like Trump is heavy on this side. There's a lot on the left side, but nothing on the right. I wonder if that's meaning something too. Because it's all showing up on the left side, but for you guys, it's showing up on your right. Okay. Anything else that we need to know? Anything else revolving around President Biden and Pope Francis, the meeting? What's going on in the meeting? Okay, they told me there's too many cards, so we'll just leave it as is. There are a lot of cards, actually. Like, way too many cards. The bottom of the deck here is something is pretty much certain here, something kind of like set in stone. Which is ironic because we have here, you know, unsure. On the bottom of the deck, but on the top of the deck, we have a decision. And there needs to be a choice. Which tells me here that something is something gonna be determined on this meeting. So on this day, Biden's gonna make a decision, a final decision. And when he does make that decision, it's gonna be certain. He's gonna be certain in that decision making. This is how he goes in feeling. This is how he feels after the meeting. So, just for reference here, so I guess we're going to have to touch upon this video again as we get closer to the date that Biden leaves and kind of touch upon the information there and see if we can get anything from it. Okay, so let's take a look. Let's see what's going on in the meeting. I don't even know what the hell they're making me read right now, but so much and there's so many places. So let's start small and we'll go from there. So we have the King of Stories. And the King of Stories is my infamous incumbency card, the incumbent party in power, right? This is the incumbent. When it's upright, it means the person is in position of power. The party is in position of power, in a position of control at least. Right? Let me see if I can move this back so you can see it. In a position of control, which is why that card shows up here. Now, this card, however, shows up like the King of Pentacles, which is the Trump card, which is crossing the incumbency. The challenge to the incumbent is President Trump. Right? Power. The card that's challenging the Democrats who are currently in position of power is President Trump. Now, what is superseding this? We have the Devil, another card on the right side of the incumbency is the Devil card, which is also represented by former President Donald Trump, which is represented via the Devil card. It's reversed. So it's ironic how the challenge to the incumbency is Donald Trump, but on the right side is also Donald Trump, but Donald Trump is in reverse here in the right, which means normally when the right side means the future, which means that in the future Donald Trump is reversed when it comes to incumbency. Underneath the incumbency factor here, because Donald Trump will be the incumbent if he was to go in and everything goes in as planned. But we have here underneath the incumbency, we have Russia. But in this aspect, this is the Vice President Harris card because she represented by the women, and the incumbent is being challenged. The women who was representing the incumbent party, which is Vice President Harris, was challenged in the 2024 election by former President Donald Trump. But on the right side, the future said, well, it's not Trump, right? Now, under here, which is aiding this, on the left side here, we have the Fool card, which is on the left of it, which means the past, which means her poll numbers went from a very low point to a very high point. It's also talked about her approval rating with the people, the Fool. People were not fooled. They understood, they saw what she represented, and they went with it. That's why she did as well as she did, and yet somehow she managed to lose the election. The momentum just didn't make any sense. Now, under here, the Fool card, we have the Moon, which is the revelation, the information regarding this period in time, which is why the Moon card shows up underneath the Fool card, which means that there was something hidden revolving her poll numbers, which means it could be polling booth. That could be the key indicator here. And it's being aided by the Knight of Wands here. The Knight of Wands means the Republican or the Conservative not running away with that. Right? They're not run away with it. Now, what does it mean when a person does not run away with it in this aspect? It means that they didn't take the win for them. They didn't run with the win, right? Because when you normally run away with it, it means that you did phenomenal in the election. You did phenomenal in the race. Now, when you say that, oh, they ran away with it, that means that they took it, too, you know what I mean? If you think about it from a pre-context standpoint, when you look at it from a slang terminology, like you say, oh, no, that person, they ran away with the item, the gun. Totally gone. In a physical sense, that's what it means. When you talk about it in a bigger margin, a bigger victory, you say they ran away with it. The election, they ran away with it. You know, what does ran away with mean? They won all the toss-up states, all the swing states. You know, could be that maybe they have bigger, wider margin to what the polls indicated. So it could be meaning that as well. So I'm giving you multiple interpretations for what the card means. But in the essence, they're saying the Republicans did not run away with this the way that they should have, but they didn't, but that was hidden. That is why it falls underneath the Fool card, and we talk about the Harris momentum, which is represented by the Fool card, which is above it on the past side of, on the past side what represents Harris, which is why that card is here. Now, underneath the Devil card, it's being challenged by the Tower, which is 45, right? We talked about, We talked about Donald Trump being on the right, which is in the future, and he's no longer going to be the incumbent. At this point in time during the election, this is the election standpoint here, right? This is the campaigning season. This is the campaign when the election was so ongoing. and people started to early vote, and the campaign was taking place. This is what this was happening. This is the election, right? This is the time period. This is talking about 2024, and when people voted on election day, this is election night. Here it's talking about the future context, where he's talking about the devil in reverse, which is President Trump in reverse, followed by and aided by the Tower card. This is a very important and very significant for two reasons. Because the Tower card is right below the devil card, which is represented by Donald Trump. But then on the right side for the future card, which is represented by Harris in the center, on her right side, her future is a tower, a change in positions. Right? That could be for bad, it could be worse. And that could be true in its essence, because it could be that Harris does not become the president, and the Tower card is representing the change in position, which means that she loses her position. However, the Tower card could also mean that she gains a promotion, a change in position, regardless of how it works out and the story works out. In the essence, the Tower card is saying that there is a change in how the order of the natural flow has come to an end, and something is changing. That's why the Tower card comes in. So Harris is here, Trump is here, but Trump is above the tower in reverse, which tells me that he's more likely to receive the change. Both of them are going to receive the change, because Harris is also in reverse, facing the same direction, while the tower card is upright, which is telling me that both of them are going to be equally affected by this tower moment. Which means something big is coming, and it affects both of them simultaneously. And it also affects, the incumbent, with Trump crossing the incumbent party, with Harris running on the presidential ticket for the incumbent party, and Trump being the challenger. This is talking about the devil and the tower. Now, what is challenging both the election and the results? I mean, the future outcome here, which is the future. What is challenging both the election day, the election night, and the future? Well, let's take a look. Because it's very represented right now by the Hierophant, which is the government card. The challenge here, the government challenging not only what happened on election day, but what happened in the future. I mean, there is some sort of constitutional crisis that is going to be imminent, that is oncoming, and is heading its way towards the White House. Okay, I gotta turn. My back is killing me. We have the future card. So if you didn't believe me the first time when I said this represented the future and that something in the future is coming, well, when this is upright, it means for the sixth of cups, it means that we're revisiting the past. We're going back to the way things were to the past, right? This is like the Ronald Reagan. People dream about Ronald Reagan, how great it was, right? But it's reversed. And the sixth of cups here is telling me that we're going towards the future. There's the future that we are going to witness, and in that future, we are going to start to understand what happened, right? What happened on election day, what happened here in the future. We have here this choices, decisions, right? This is my misinformation card, misguiding, right? Be misled, not able to understand and be able to see and understand your choices clearly and effectively. That is why this card falls in between election day and the Tower card and 45. Now it's also being challenged by the Ace of Cups, which means enthusiasm, curbing enthusiasm. So there's a lack of enthusiasm, potentially a change of something, and also the Nine of Pentacles. Now the Nine of Pentacles is pretty important because we kept getting this card consistently in our reading. Consistently, the Nine of Pentacles in reverse has always shown up as the Nine of Pentacles in reverse. So I don't never really figured out what the Nine of Pentacles had indicated in this aspect, but for me, it always represented, at least what I've seen in previous readings, with the Nine of Pentacles, it always representing great fortune or a success. Right? There's a challenge to that success, right? Talking about how one person succeeded, but the other one did not, even though one has success, but didn't see success um, emulated in the election or the electoral vote count. Now we have here in the center the reading, which is in the center part, which is taking place a little bit after the results come in. We have the challenge to the Five of Swords, which is leaving the office of the presidency. We have the Five of Wands here, which means that somebody's going to have to go, two people are going to have to walk away, which means it could be Elon Musk and Trump walking away, and that Harris had the victory, but it could be vice versa as well. And it's being challenged and aided by the Eight of Cups here. And the Eight of Cups is telling me here that there's a challenge to do everything, and that there's a refusal to leave, but there's also a movement to make them leave. Again, this is all going on while Biden's in the Vatican. Because when he meets the Pope is going to be discussing with Biden what to do next spiritually, because Biden is in a state of stress and upheaval that he doesn't know how to appropriate the situation in a proper manner and to be able to get the guidance that he needs to do. That's why in the video, early in the video today, I said that the cards were indicating that Biden needed to go and seek this guidance. The one he seeks the guidance, he's going to be very sure about the information that he receives. Okay, sorry, I had to drink some water. So when you talk a lot, your mouth dries up pretty quickly, I notice. aka me. Okay, so when we start to get into this next phase, which is here in this phase, it seems to be entirely separated itself from the election and what's going on with the election investigation and all that shenanigans. This is kind of like separate branch. So there's 3 separate quadrants. We have the first quadrant, the second quadrant, and the third quadrant. And the third quadrant here is being represented by foul play, right? I feel like the first thing I'm seeing is voting booth. I'm seeing a big machine where people are actually clicking on the votes and who they want for president. Okay, you click Obama, you click McCain. I've seen the machine. I've seen the machine right in front of me, and this is what this card represents. It's the 6 of Pentacles, right? Unfair. There's something going on with the machine that is unfair. So this is referring to the machinery now, the technological aspect. What we have here is being challenged by, in the past, is struggle. It's going to be very hard for one particular candidate to get through. This is why it shows up in the past tense of the election, or in the past tense of the voting booth, which means this has been done before. 2024. Again, everything in this video is just for entertainment purposes only, and for alleged purposes only as well. But it feels like it has been done before. It just didn't work as well. It needed some further fixing or further perfection before it could be officially in works, which is why that card comes in here. Now, underneath the 6 of Pentacles, excuse me, the card that comes up is the Page of Cups. And the first one I heard was not J.D. Vance, but Peter Thiel. He comes in this reading, which is why he's represented here. So I wonder if there's a connection between the booths, or the election, or the electoral system to Peter Thiel. There's some sort of connection here that is surprising, if you will. Because above the 6 of Pentacles here, we have the this card. Let's see if I can get it. We have the Queen of Swords. This is the Harris card. This is her going towards the presidency. So there's unfairness in the voting booth. And there's Peter Thiel here. There's a candidate who's unable to get ahead because of the struggle that has been placed in the coding mechanism of the computer that prevented this dead candidate to win. And it's because of proper funding or guidance or whatever it is that this individual does affected the struggle, which led to the voting booth being tallied and miscalculated. This goes as far as past presidential election and need to be perfected, and it led to her unable to claim the nomination. However, with the Page of Pentacles, it gave the desired outcome in this election, the result that they were looking for, the Pentacle. Now, what's on the side as representing Peter Thiel, which is the Page of Cups here, is being aided by the Hangman. The Hangman is that he will be hanged in some way. So we never kept saying that there was going to be like a hanging or like a death penalty or an execution or something that they do with traitors or something to do with treasonous people or criminals, because they're going to be stripped of their American status. But it feels like whatever they do to these people who are abroad, they might do at home, and it might be domestic. So we have to take a deeper look in how it was handled during the Civil War. And we do have here decisions. Here, so Peter Thiel is going to have to make a decision that might hang the whole truth upside down, might turn the whole truth upside down. He's going to have to make a decision whether or not he's going to be a whistleblower. But if he does, get the Knight of Swords here, which means he hasn't made that decision or that call. But if he does, he might be able to alter the history. So I think Peter Thiel is going to be a very significant factor going forward on who knows what. and they're going to be blaming each other who can get the best deal first so that they are more likely to not be charged with a crime. So that is the story of what Biden is going to be discussing with Pope Francis, right? Right here. He's pretty certain about his decision regarding around the revelation, right? He's pretty determined about his decision revolving around a potential revelation that's yet to be revealed. But when it does, it revolves around Republicans trying to hold on to power and how they did it and how they made it work with the Five of Cups here, which tells me that, the Democrats are going to be on track to regain back the presidency and the House. And we do have here Biden here. And then Biden heading towards the presidency, someone's heading towards the presidency. It won't be them losing or walking away, but there will be a transformation that will come in the White House. We're going around a conservative leader who is also the emperor, which is former President Trump. And people will be celebrating, but it won't come and won't be easy, but people won't be as injured or as upset as they initially were. But it won't be the end of a political story. So the Trump story and everything that's going on around that is going to be the beginning of something rather than the end. However, there will be a restriction on the Electoral College and the voting system that is going to be very hard for people in America to trust the system again, because there will be a call for judgment or action to change the system. And then we have the Knight of Pentacles. Something moved pretty quickly. Something moves pretty quickly in the Knight of Pentacles reverse, and it's the line of succession, which tells me there might be a possibility that maybe Harris and Trump are delayed, which is here, which is being shown in this aspect. There's some sort of delay, and that the line of succession takes place, and someone else assumes the role of the presidency temporarily until things get sorted out. So, it's very possible that maybe Mike Johnson or someone else takes the role of the presidency. However, we do have the Ace of Swords here, which means the incumbent has been defeated. And in this aspect, the incumbency, whoever is becoming the next incumbent, which is going to be Trump, because Trump is the one who won the election in 2024, he's going to be the incumbent that gets defeated in the White House, or the way to the White House, and it leads to her instead. I can't make this up. Okay, this is literally the way the cards do it. And so a lot of you guys trust me, and a lot of you guys know how I read. There are a few, and I'm talking about like maybe 1%, who believe that, the way I do the cards and everything like that are not accurate. Listen, I read the cards intuitively, I read it energetically. You can't make this up, okay? I can't make this up, okay? You saw me shuffle these cards many times in this video. I did not make this up. There's not even an edit in this video so that I can make this up. That would be too much work, right? I'm not a con artist, but gotta trust the cards sometimes. Remember, I always say on my channel, it's never the card that's wrong. It's always the interpreter. Remember that. All right, guys. So I hope you liked today's video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the bell icon, and share this video with others. Don't forget to engage. Don't forget to show this videos to others. Try to just be in a state of hopefulness and happiness. I know that the other video that I talked about revolving around, the what if scenario and the what if video revolving around like Harris and Biden. I definitely think that you just need to have faith and have hope. And I'm not trying to misguide you or mislead you, but the cards are definitely giving us the story here in the picture. And so we're just going to dive in and just kind of see what takes place and what happened. But as of right now, there is going to be a delay. I keep getting the cards, and there will be a young guy in office or in a position of power temporarily until this thing gets sorted. But this is the reason why it's so important for Biden to visit the Pope, because Pope is going to help Biden get the guidance spiritually that he needs to be able to make the proper decision. So we will see what Biden chooses, and we will keep you up to date and what happens. So until then, I love you and have a great night. And if I say anything on my videos that had come true or had come to pass, you let me know in the comment section below of this video. I'm really curious to see what else has come true. I don't keep track of it. The only thing I know that really came true that was actually I found myself, which was accidental because it just showed up on my YouTube feed, was the coffin, where I kept seeing a skeleton in a coffin getting a watch assured, and it was going to have information but it didn't have the information, but it had the skeleton in the coffin. Didn't watch it short. How often did that happen, right? But nonetheless, it was still confirmation from my reading, regardless of it all. Until then, guys, I love you. Have a great night. And if I don't see you, Merry Christmas. And Happy Hanukkah, too. Alright, guys. Love you. Peace out.